Hello, fans of the modeler. For the longest time, I had no point of touch, point of impact, attache point, I don't know what I'm trying to say, with the Fender Tone Master Pro. And in my job, I kind of need to have an overview of the market. Am I personally interested in an all-encompassing, can-do everything, has all these amps built in modeler? Well, if Leslie is so kind to show the amp wall behind me, if you've never been to one of my videos, I can pick any of these amps right away with an ampere switcher. I have an actual tape delay on the left there, wired into it. I literally have what the modelers give you right there. As easy as dialing in a modeler. I mean, I have to roll back and set up the amp and whatever, but it's all wired up in here, which of course for a live gig gives me nothing. So the point is, no, I'm not the target customer for any of these products. However, as someone who reviews them and has a very good idea of what actual amps sound like, blah, 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 it is imperative to know what the market has to offer. So I know the Amperos, the Moors, the Quad Cortexes, the Helixes, the Fractals. I've got them all as a point of reference when your questions come in. When there's an update and a company wants to say, oh, can you do something about the update? Oh, could you show our expression pedal with a Quad Cortex? Yes, I can, because I have one now. It's in the box, and it's a good thing for me to have knowledge of all these boxes and have them here, because that is the job. The Tone Master Pro I never had. So I asked Fender, could I do a video on it? The same video I did for the Quad Cortex. I look at it for about an hour, no manual, and whatever I find out, I present. Because ease of use and intuitiveness, that's a word, is very important for these things. So it arrived and I took it out of the box, and that looked like so. I did spend actually less than an hour with it, and then it was done. I knew everything I needed to know. So here is a time lapse of that time. After that, we did take some product shots, and I noodled around with it, I think, for one of the new Fender guitars. I think the Ultra Lux Vintage, something like that. Let's give you those things right away. we got to throw this in quickly. Now that I'm editing the video, I saw in the product shots that there's a micro SD card slot, and there's something I wanted to tell you about this. So it's great that it has the micro SD card slot. Why? It's used to back up your whole Tone Master Pro. So what you can actually do is you go in the menu, you say back up everything, and then you have it on a micro SD card, put it in your wallet. Very simple. You fly around with it, you use it. If it breaks, you grab your buddy's Tone Master Pro, put the micro SD card in there, say restore, and your whole Tone Master Pro is restored. Of course, other devices have a similar function. With the editor, with the computer, with the cloud, all that. Here, all that stuff is simplified by simply micro SD card, one click, done. Want to restore it, micro SD card, one click, done. Yeah, it's old school with hardware media, but it's dependable and you just have that with you wherever you go. Absolute worst case scenario, you walk into a store, buy another one, rent one, whatever, bam, your tour continues. I like that very simple analog, if you will, but it's not, solution. Now to the track. So after all this, let's go through it together. Let's together go through what I found. Honestly, I had not the highest expectations. And now, honestly, it's likely the modeler I put on the table if I want to get great results fast. So here it is. Big cutout next to me, cutting me out of the picture there. So why is that? Why is it the one that I would put on the table? Before we go into anything, let me quickly give you a rundown of pros and cons, and then you can actually look for those as I do the video, compared to the others. Now, the Helix is the big kahuna that's been around for the longest time and really stood there as the benchmark. Can do many, many things, but of course it doesn't have a touchscreen, all that stuff. But the Helix, the big one, is, I know there's a new one coming, but we're not talking about that yet, is big, it's heavy, and you're not going to throw that in a backpack. It's not the most travel-friendly, convenient device when it's actually supposed to be a convenient device. You really need a gig bag or a case for it. Can do many things, but no touchscreen, blah, 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 all that stuff. The Helix is also, first of all, what they did with the Helix, it has been maintained and updated for free for 10 years. So Line 6 did a phenomenal job there. It was about time to update it now. It is overwhelmingly loaded with amps, cabs, effects. There's a lot, right? And for me, it's information overload. Now, Fractal, hardware-wise, tough to beat. The big Fractal product, also price range quite a bit higher than this. Dual stereo XLR out, or in the case of the XFX3 rack unit, 4 stereo outs, and digital, and they are built like tanks and have the best in-out on the market when you want to wire it up in professional systems with actual amps and simulators and going front of house, but then also in ear you've got something different. Absolutely mind-blowing. Sound quality, great. Usability on the actual unit, non-existent, absolutely horrible. You have to use the editor. I use it daily in my other studio, in the rack, but I use the editor. The thing just sits there and is the hardware. Now, Quad Cortex is good. It's very small. It's very take-with-youable, if you will, and you can actually profile on the actual unit. So with the ones we mentioned so far, it's the first and only one that can do profiling. I cannot talk about the Kemper. I will not touch one of those things because I don't like the company. We have Tonex, which is of course only profiling and some basic effects. I don't know if we should throw Tonex into the mix. However, there are 22,000 profiles. Now there are basic effects included, and the thing is only like $400. So it's a pretty fair offering, but not your fully fledged unit. Then there are the more budget-friendly ones from China, Hot Tone, Ampero, more GE, whatever, something's 300, 1,000. Now the Ampero has a decent interface, very small, a touchscreen, but it is touchscreen and has a lot to offer. Cannot necessarily compete sound-wise with the bigger units. Then we've got the Flex Prime I reviewed, the smallest one from Headrush. Very nice interface, great options with Dropbox and online sharing of stuff. Pretty cool, but again, not necessarily on the level of those boxes. Now, the Tone Master Pro comes in smaller than a Helix, more friendly to take with you, bit bigger than a Quad Cortex. And what I do like about it is, which the Quad Cortex doesn't have, it has the scribble strips. So each of the foot switches has a scribble strip, and you actually see what happens when you push it along with different colors, which of course the Quad Cortex also has. And Fender definitely didn't reinvent the wheel here. They did what Apple does. They looked at what the market has, and they were inspired by / copied the good features of other companies, namely the turny knobbies, nice riffly knob, and you'll see later, holy crap, do they work fine. Do they break down? I don't know. But as a potentiometer, wow, so tactile. They have a big screen, and it is touchscreen. It really is looking at the competition and doing it just, I would say, just the tiniest step better. Like on the Quad Cortex, you're looking at parameters up here, and then you kind of have to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters, and you got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, here it says it right there, right? So it's a little bit more direct. And this is what this actually is. It is the most analog hardware feeling unit on the market. So let's go through it. We're going to have 6 different presets right there. You got a bank up and a bank down. Super simple. You see that the banks change. Doesn't really show you bank 2, bank whatever, anywhere here. There's probably a way to do this. But again, I have not read a single thing in the manual. I don't think I have to. You got tap tempo, and we're going to get to the foot switch mode in a second. That's a very important button for you to go all the time. What is immediately apparent is the simplicity of the presets. Now, on a Helix, you will notice an enhancer, an EQ, preamp, then some other EQ post-amp. So they're on all their presets, which have never been great, they are molding the sound to make it better. Here we have an amp and a delay, and there's a drive if you want it. This is a setup like you would actually have. There's a deluxe reverb, there's a delay. How do you turn on that drive that's there, which is probably a drive? Well, I'm gonna go to foot switch mode, and now there are things you can do. You can turn that on. It's very visible, right? I can turn the delay off, and I can turn the intensity up on the amp, which means I'll probably have a tremolo. Everything very clearly visible. And this is literally just like your pedal board. Click this and you're gone. Doesn't get simpler. I want to modify my amp. There you go. Big, clear. Can you fiddle around with this here? Yes. Would I ever do that? No. That's asinine because I have, what did I just do? That was bass. I have these knobs. You can clearly see amp level, reverb, speed, intensity, right? So when you touch this, it is so fine, so precise, such immediate control over the knob, like you're actually turning an analog knob. And there's no delay between the movements. So what happens is you're looking at this and you want to change the mix on your delay. Well, first of all, you're going to turn the delay on. That was easy. That was super intuitive. You're going to click on the delay. It shows up as an actual space delay. It shows up actually nicer than up there. It's a little bit washed out in with our camera there. I'm sorry about that. So I could read what's happening here, but I don't have to. There's my time, tap divisions, a little bit more feedback. I want more mix. Now we can see there's 2 dots in the middle. That's the page. So there are the other parameters. What the fuck? No, won't flutter. Spillover is on. We can turn that off. Go back to the page, exit. And we're back here. Same thing for the drive. I click on the drive. There's a drive. I want less gain. I want to flicky that switch. You can see the flicky switchy flicking. You don't need to know anything about digital. You don't need to know anything about modulars. You need to know how a pedal works. And then your parameters are there. It is possibly even quicker and more intuitive than the Quad Cortex because the visuals are what we're used to. Let's see what I just did there. Why am I not playing a Fender but a Schecter Nick Johnson signature? Well, Fender doesn't own this channel. Fender doesn't tell me what to do. I have Fenders here, right? There's also a white cat over there wanting to come in. Hey, Marvin. And you guys always say, pay chill, pay chill, pay chill. I'll play whatever guitar I want to. And sometimes just to make a point. Make it big again, Leslie. Thank you. Leslie's very perceptive. What happened here? This is on. I don't even look here. I look here. So how did that intensity work? I assume when you click that, it goes to changing the parameter of intensity from 0 to whatever it was. So me changing it now wouldn't necessarily do the job. So let's see how that's done. Again, no manual. I know nothing. But at the bottom it says expression assigned, foot switch assign, preset, settings, add block, and BPM. So we're going to go to foot switch assign. Oh, look, intensity. So we go to this. Yeah. Right now it says parameter. Does nothing other than parameter. Type, parameter change. You can actually add more things. You could add another parameter change, another on-off, whatever. So you have 4 different ones. And this isn't even the very latest software. My friend Robin told me, now you can do more there. But we're not going to go there because I played with it for an hour and I'll show you what I found, right? But that also shows you that Fender is making things better, just like line 6, as we go along. So which block? I can pick any block, but we want that one. Confirm. And now we're going to pick intensity. And I'm going to say it jumps to... Oh, I can't do it here. No, that's still the master. So you're just going to pull that, and I want the intensity to be here. Confirm. Inactive value, 0. So that technically means we're done. Let's see if that works. So inactive value should be 0. And active value is 72. So it absolutely did that. And it was very easy to do. I just handled it like I handled an amp. Check out some more things. Unchained, we know what that's supposed to be. What I like about that preset is it sounds like it's in the room. It's pumping air. It's not right here. It's a big sound. I like it. I don't know how to play the songs. Here we've got a voxy type thing with quite a bit of things, but it says cutting edge, so it's clearly a... Click on the delay, add more mix. Exit, hit save on top to save. Compressor, output, sensitivity, crank that shit up. So, and you can see that the presets do change immediately. No gaps. I do think it has twice the processing power that it actually needs to run both setups. Something Robin told me something like that. I don't know. It's got balls, so it can do that. So on that one, for example, I'm not super happy with that plexi. So we go to foot switch mode. Kill the univibe for now. Let's keep the plate. Click on the plexi. Let's see what we can do. That volume down, amp level up, one bit more meat. So now we click on the cab in the corner. No manual, none of that. So it's a little bit to the edge, and we're gonna go to a 121. Gonna take it a bit. Yeah, we get a bit more of that bite. Low cut, low cut. And I'm where I want to be. Amp-wise, we'll take volume 2 down. Oh, not all the way. Exit. Foot switch mode. Now we can put the univibe back in. Not loud enough? just doing my instinctive, intuitive moves that I would do with pedals in front of me. Turn them on and off. I see which one's on, because it's the one that's lit up. Crank up the volume, let's first exit. If I like it, I save, and we're done. Pretty impressive. There's some kind of Metallica thing. So this is interesting. This is a channel switch, which I think has been improved. And what it literally is doing is turning things off and turning other things on, right? So you can see that it's actually switching between two different amps or settings on one channel amps. And it's doing that by turning these on and then off and then these on and so on. The problem is in the foot switch settings, you're not defining what is on and what is off. You're just defining what gets switched. Meaning, if it was in the opposite state when you went into it, you're switching it into the opposite state. Can you follow me? Let me try to illustrate. Foot switch assign, channel switch, on, off, multi, right? The color, it's showing you, is it latching, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then, of course, you can also change the label. That's all nice. So we're going to go block, multi, block. Here we go. So it's showing you what it's switching. They're all on, right? Well, no. It will switch these from one state to the other. So let's say I'm adding one here. On, off, and we're doing this one. So Studio Comp on, off. So this switches these two sections back and forth, right? However, if this is now off, the channel switch will flip it. See, now it's turning on. So when you have individual control over one effect and you're doing these multi on-off switches, which is cool to do to really have a whole setup and switch a whole section, you could very quickly get into trouble. As far as I've been told, that has been remedied. That's all I can say. Get out of here. I don't know what that is. Bank up. Super deluxe drive. I mean, look at this. It's just an amp and a drive. I love it. Turn the reverb on. So I did dial the reverb down. Careful, next time you're engaging that reverb switch, it means it's pulling it back to the level that was previously programmed. Because it doesn't turn the reverb on off, it changes the parameter. And you know what? The interesting thing is, this is pretty much most of what this thing can do. What I've shown you is how it operates. But of course, we're going to look at maybe some more complicated setups. There are beautiful things it can do. You're already seeing parallel setups there, right? So it's going into a plexi through something, it's going into Vox through something, but in parallel, and then meeting back at, what is this? A large hall. So I mean, I don't even know why that's a parallel thing, and it's going through an amp thing, and then there's parallel effects happening in the background, in the back. Now, of course, let's talk about this for a second. We have two different outputs, and there's also USB. And it can go out of USB. Well, it definitely has Bluetooth to pump USB into it, but it's not as complex and fully featured as some of the competition, which makes it simpler to understand. Two outputs, fine. Let's look in the back for a second. Oh, Leslie's on it. You can go in with a microphone if you wanted to, which is really cool. Guitar is below. Then we've got 4 loops. Loop 3 and 4 can be summed together for a stereo loop, which would mean 1 mono, 2 mono, and then 3, 4 as a stereo loop. Very nice. We have, of course, XLR out as it should be, and then underneath we've got 1/4 inch out as well. Over here we've got aux in, phones, and then another set of 1/4 inch output, that is output 2. And then there's expressionists, and then there's MIDI, and then USB and all that stuff. So pretty straightforward. You say, well, we don't have a lower path. So you could say path 1 goes output 1 and path 2 goes output 2, which is a different cab or whatever. So there are some of these options to give you the flexibility, not in the ridiculous connectivity that Fractal will give you, but I'd say good enough for government work. Well, depending on what government. So no, how do I add? I would have to change the. So in the settings actually, wait, is it? No, preset settings. Here we go. Preset volume. Why is it at 28%? That's weird. Signal path type. There you go. You see all the different signal paths. What's a little bit weird is you have to pull this. I would assume this big thing can be an input for this. Would be nice to scroll through it like that. But this really is only for master and the mixer. So it's a little bit weird that that doesn't do that. Can this do it? Nope. Now it changed things. Okay, weird. Again, preset. You have all these different routing options that you then only have to populate with effects. It's difficult to do looking over there. Auto impedance, output assign. We already had that. Preset MIDI. Yes, of course it has MIDI. How much can you do with it? MIDI channel. Well, pretty, not that much really. I mean, oh, it can send on MIDI channel 1 program. I don't know. Oh, it sends MIDI when you go to that preset. I get it. So basic MIDI functionality, not massively complex, like some of the others. But again, straightforwardity is really the word here. You can add a block. Where is it? Where did I add it? Oh, I want to add it right here. What do I want to add? I want to add effects, delay. Oh, I said delay. Analog delay. Confirm. And we're done. Did it just offer me to hear it? Think so. Let's do it again. Add block. Effects, delay. Ah, you can preview them. Okay, how do I kill this block? Remove. Done. Easy. I can move these anywhere I want. I mean, where it makes sense. I'm going to turn this off by hitting the thing that will usually turn it on and off, right? Pretty simple. It's literally just like grabbing a pedal and putting in the chain where you want it. Let's go. A couple more presets, and then we'll look at some of what's included in terms of amps and that stuff. Why is it so quiet? Oh. I don't know how to play things. I don't know, songs, something. So let's look at what's under the hood as far as amps are, right? So I go here and I say replace. So what do we have? Combo amps. We've got the Fenders, got a Vox, got one Mesa, clean one, you know, the jazz chorus, Plexis with all the cabs included, EVH, SLO, one orange, what's that thing called? Rectifier, another Mesa, and an Überschall. That's about it. Oh, those were already half stacks. We kind of, see, we went through it. And then we've got amp heads. Fenders, all the Fenders, all the Fenders, all the Fenders, all the Fenders. 2 boxes, it's enough. Plexi, 800, Jubilee, done. BE 100 for the loads of Plexi thing. EVH for the 5150, 6505, EVH, it's all the same crap. High gain, very dense, right? SLO, 1 orange, 2 marks, rectifier, Überschall, clean ones. So as far as amps goes, I love it because it doesn't overwhelm you. It has everything that made rock and roll great. You want the big metal / hard rock sound, you go for the rectifier. You want the Santana lead, there is an SLO. You want that orange sound, which is a bit different, there is an orange, but there's one. There's not that specific orange under 22,000 profiles like on the Tone X cloud, which is all fine and good, but do we really need all that? It's just information overload. This is not information overload. This is to the point. A lot of rock and roll has been done with these couple Marshalls and these couple Fenders. Put a fuzz in front of it, you're good. You know, combine it with each other. Do dual amping if you want to, but these very to the point amps do the job. Well, it's missing a KSR, it's missing a ref. Look, ref are great amps, absolutely. But do we need all of it? They fed it with the stuff that you need to make music. And I really like that because it is a device that makes you make music instead of fiddling with 2 bias settings like in a Fractal. It just goes too far. This is pretty straightforward. We have cabinets, but you know what? It's a whole bunch, but not ridiculous. It's not like 2,000 like in the Fractal. It's too much, people. This is fine. Now with effects, we got some stomp boxes, which is a pretty long list and possibly too long of a list. Oh no, actually it isn't, because I was already at the modulation. So drives, mods, delays, it's bread and butter plus. It's your bread and butter stuff and then a bit more, but not crazy. Not crazy more, right? So let's see, space delay. Now that's a lot of delays. Come on. Digital, analog, auto swell, dynamic, echo filter, nice, echo filter stereo, echo tank, memory delay, and in stereo ping pong, reverse, space delay, and stereo. Tape echo, stereo tape, studio delay. Done. That's a good bread and butter plus selection. It's everything that you need without going into stupid details that nobody gives a shit about. Dynamics and EQ, reverb, dynamics and EQ, filter and pitch if you really want to go nuts. IRs are not loaded, but you can load your own IRs. If the caps sound good, why would you? And then effects loop, and you can just select one, place it anywhere in the chain, and then wire something in yourself. Use your own effects, pre, post, in the middle, wherever you want. Again, I did not read a manual, because it is that straightforward. Block settings. You can save this block and then recall it in a different preset. Easy. Nice. If that's your favorite setting, good. I think this is all it can do. In, out, okay, we got definitions for the inputs and outputs, instrument, blah, blah, blah. Of course, you can use it as an audio interface type thing. You can reamp with it. I don't know why you would, but okay. Foot switch assignments, foot switch presets, 6 presets. You can do 3 effects over 3 presets. Okay. 3 presets over 3 effects. Okay, different kind of ways to look at it and lay it out. 8 effects, 6 effects, tap tempo. I mean, nothing is global EQ, of course. And here you've got the mixer for output 1, output 2, and aux, which could also be Bluetooth. There's a tuner, which works. I wasn't in tune, but was I not? No, I actually never tuned this guitar, which of course warrants the whole tune your guitar comments that I get all the time. If you are the kind of player that doesn't want a modeler because you don't want to fiddle around in menus, you don't want to learn the modeler, all you want to do is fucking make some music and grab a knob like on your amp and then maybe hit save. I want to add an effect. Bam, delay. It does that. It is the honestly easiest to use intuitive device on the market. Okay, but how does it sound? It sounds live. It sounds like amps in the room. It sounds as if there's air moving. Am I going to use this over an actual amp in a room if I have the choice? No. I wouldn't use any box of these kinds. Even a Fractal XFX3, which is twice the money that this is, over an actual amp in a room. Is there an editor for it? Probably. Do I care? No, not going to look at it. Is there a phone app where you can edit it on your phone? Probably. Why in the world would you? I think Robin said there is. And he said he likes it when you go and it's quick and you don't have to bend down. Come on, Robin, you're not that old. I'm not that old. I am that old, but I can bend down for a sec. Also, I have it on the table in front of me. This editing with this is fast. It's precise. It makes you make music and not get lost anywhere. I mean, wherever I want to go. Okay, bam. Look, treble. More gain, exit. Let's look at the amp. Treble, I want more amp level. I want to cut it a bit. Look at the knobs moving. Done. Exit. What do we have here? I need less of that, of course. Depth, 12 page. Where's my mix? Depth. Is it depth? No. I guess it's level then. Yeah, I guess it's level. Done. Oh, wait, you want a different drive? We're adding a block. We're adding it here. Let's go through this as a very last thing. We're going to go to effects. Going to go to stomp box. I want a green box because, you know, that's what we do. I want that to be off. Fine. Gonna go to foot switch mode, foot switch assign. Gonna add a new one. On off. These two. Confirm. I'm done. Because now it'll just switch between these two. This is not having read a manual and honestly spent the time with it that you saw in this video. That's about it. Now you can switch between these two effects, or you could of course do individual buttons for the effects. How do you do individual buttons? You want to know that? Of course, sure. Go to multi, we're gonna block, we're gonna define that again. Turn that off, confirm. Go back, add another one. On, off. That one, confirm. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I got both. It's really so easy. Sounds good, has loops, has stereo out, but it has dual outputs. It's not the best at ins and outs. It might not be the best at sound, even though it's way up there, right? But it's probably the one that makes you make music more than any other, because you get to actually make music when you have an idea and you translate that really, really quickly into a preset and you just keep going making music. If there was ever a question whether, as an analog amp guy, you should get a model, and you were always like, yeah, but I don't want to because it doesn't actually feel like an amp and it's too much learning curve. It's 20 minutes and you're flying. And from that point on, you never think of it as a modeler. You think of it as you rig on the floor. Assigning foot switches, easy. It even named them, right? It's simple. It has everything that you need, but no more than that. And I applaud Fender for doing that. I like it. And it's probably the one that I would take to a gig because I know I can very quickly go, done. What, you want more of this? Okay, whoop. Without having to find out what button do I actually need to push to get to what menu and how do I get out of this nightmare? It doesn't do that. So well done, Fender. Thank you for sending this over. We are yet confused, Fender and I, whether that's a paid video or not, but I guess that's something for us to figure out. You don't have to deal with it. I love it. Check it out. If you don't like it, send it back. But if you're an amp guy, this is the modeler you're getting. Period. That's what I gotta say. Also, we're done. Links below. Please use them. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and annals at the end.
Coalition, another strong man. This story ended before it began. I should have seen this coming from the start. So many forces tearing us apart.